Hello Collective, welcome to the channel. I got a few messages here for you. So, somebody mentioned crocodile tears. In history, unseen entities, mostly masculine, threatened to take tiny bites out of me until there was nothing left. While I was being forced to listen to children scream and cry terror and pain, a nervous system and mental assault, unique in and of itself. They used to ask if there were tears in my eyes, excited by the idea of it. So, crocodile tears could mean that the reptiles are crying right now, and we all know that they are actors and actresses who can cry on cue. Near perfect mimickers of actual human emotion. One or some of these abuser males are told they are going to be impotent. They had stripped every pleasure from this celestial daughter and replaced it with defilement and pain. They will be stripped of their pleasure. A female voice spoke to these unseen masculines saying, "What have you done?" Somebody has told these fellas here that they need them to detach from this woman, potentially me. They complain that she's a sympathizer to those innocent ones that they have been sacrificing. The heinous circumstances of this realm were not created by the first woman, their celestial cardinal guide. The heinous circumstances of this realm were created by the protector who turned assassinator, betrayed her, sacrificed her, consumed her, meaning drinking her blood and eating her flesh, the apple that Eve ate. To learn the wisdom of life and death. The celestial, upper dimensional, angelic wisdom. This newly returned magistrate was betrayed from the start. This consume, copycat, and replace has been happening since the beginning. They used her as a blueprint, and they created lots of clones, and they siphoned her energy, and they did lots of horrendous things here, and they ran the planet into death. This woman who has been returned is the one that has the energy that can restore life. And these nasty asses that have been consuming it for so long and building their foundation upon it are upset that the foundation is crumbling. She's evicting them, creating a safe space for the children, and according to history, these ones have never been safe for the children or the women who birthed them. They didn't like her attitude, her complaint of them prostituting everybody. She's of a high value celestial soul. She appears young, but she is not naive. She's thousands of years old. She carries upper dimensional soprano wisdom. She's got eternal life flowing in her, and they built their misery while siphoning her and wearing her identity here. They said that she was naive, irresponsible, not utilizing her power and authority correctly. So they had to correct her. They used her life force essence and celestial gifts against her and her family, celestial, while presenting as her after consuming her. A new big male voice is saying, it makes sense. It's due to him. Now, I don't know what that was. Somebody sounding like the curator is complaining to somebody saying, your government officials, he wants to send someone out to catch this woman. He's like, sick 'em, sick 'em. He's like, you take care of this. He thinks he's in command of governments around the world. Nobody seems to be chasing according to his command. Somebody is talking about her telepathy and how he concentrated on her every single night. And he kept dumping his shit into her, energy, into her mind, as she lay sleeping. They defiled her with their projections. This is their work in the world. These men. They say that they defiled her energy, desecrated her, but they're saying that what they're doing is legitimate, legal. But somehow what the result of them doing upon her makes her unqualified. Silence is golden, and the telepathy that these ones use is not silent. They are not golden. They are not of the celestial realms that they occupy. They are stolen identity and authority. I woke to a very stern energy of fear in the solar plexus and the heart. And I heard someone say, you transferred the energy of the solution provider. So, anybody that's playing in the energy of the solution provider is probably going to be feeling fear. They've been sacrificing the essence and energy of the celestial solution provider for this realm to another entity, claiming the celestial solution provider was irresponsible and did not know how to use her power. So they defiled her and then defiled everybody else with it. The energy. He gave it to a lower vibrational, lowercase g God to use in exchange for its wisdom, who then claimed it to be conqueror of the sun, the celestial one, and their family, their bloodline, all of them. They are in trouble, and there is fear here. It could have been a lower vibrational entity present, because when they are present, it often feels very low vibrational, like the fear energy. That's why I'm kind of confused about what fear actually is these days. Because when a lower vibrational entity is present, it hits the solar plexus like a dark energy. They have very dark energy, and it kind of feels like fear, but it's not. It's just the effect upon the chakra system. They worshipped the dead, feeding it the celestial wisdom in the celestial souls of their children and their wives. The curator argues that she has to be innocent. He is told she was innocent all of those years ago when she came here with the celestial solutions, and they sacrificed her to a lower entity and tortured her for centuries, reducing her to intercessor, someone to carry the burden of their sin. The replacement copycats of celestials kept doing. They laid the blame and the shame for their heinous crimes against the realm and the planet and its living components onto her. They blamed her, and they were sending up false reporting to the celestials. They replaced her with a Jezebel devil, a zombie that needs to feed endlessly, relentlessly, sexually. A zombie, according to Natalie, whatever her name is, requires consistent and plentiful sexual action. So that's who they chose to replace the first beautiful celestial daughter with. And then they said she was that. He's saying that she has the energy that can heal the dead. So he gives her death and takes her life in sacrifice repeatedly, and he's been doing that for thousands of years. He is saying that the history of her life proved that he had to command her energy, but he drove her into extreme abusive circumstances, and then said that she chose that. And then he used her own energy to bind, hex, curse her and everyone and everything she loved, while saying she was doing that. It was the Jezebel replacement, the zombie, sex-driven succubus. These entities, these masculines up here making these decisions, are incubuses. They've been sodomizing the celestial children, flipping them into the lower realms, prostituting them, and then saying that they weren't worth being there. The incubus has infiltrated the territory and is talking very sternly about how the newly returned magistrate, proven innocent celestial, is unworthy. They're saying if there's any kind of peptides, vitamins, herbals that increase the light or the health and well-being of the body's temple, that is illegitimate, it doesn't count, These are incubuses who have been siphoning celestial light, and in order to appear as though they are light, and they consider themselves legitimate and worthy of authority over somebody who actually is. He drove the children that he was sexually violating into low vibrational families with bad issues, drugs, alcoholism, anger issues, and all of that, and then drove their lives onto that path, using the celestial daughters of First Woman's energy, this powerful energy that was here to bring life to the planet and all that it held. He interfered in everyone's soul status by stripping them of their celestial support system, knowledge, and purpose. He used his interference in people's lives as an excuse to deceitfully convict them of failure and then harvesting them. This woman, these celestials are here to support the living, and he committed their life to the dead. Apparently, he made a blood oath, and he's been feeding the celestials to them. He had been warned about serving and worshiping the dead. A woman told the curator that his actions have destroyed opportunity for everyone else in the group. He was never a humble servant. He was a gluttonous, cowardice feeder upon sacrificed, tortured, innocent, sun-filled celestials, wearing their own sacrificed energy, posing as one of them. Innocent, pure, kind, gentle. He keeps insisting that she has the energy to fix whatever he did. Whatever entity he pledged himself to, this dark matter, whatever, he considers a celestial woman's energy the antidote to his problem. So rather than allow her to bring healing and life and vibrancy to the living on the planet and the planet itself, he is feeding it as an antidote to his oath to whatever entity he agreed to feed. He sacrificed the celestial solution provider and her energy, the life-giving source energy. Somebody's saying, look, let me ask you a question. What does relationship mean to you? Well, to him, it means sacrifice, contract, harvesting the solar energy, the angelic identity. It means bringing up the demon, the devil from the lower realms, the dead one that he agreed to feed, into the celestial realms, and then feeding it fresh meat right out of the womb of a celestial mother. Incubuses and succubuses in the celestial house of the Father, wearing identities of sacrificed angels, here suffering the consequences of their actions. He proclaimed himself conqueror of the sun and this celestial realm. He insists and demands that he owns all of the merchandise of the angels, the earth angels, the celestials. Life force, celestial wealth, knowledge, celestial creator gifts, power, authority. There's nothing beneficial with having a relationship with this person, which means there is no benefit of having a relationship with anyone in his group, following his lead and the lead of whoever is supporting this harvest of the celestial kingdom he claims to be serving. He's like, she needs her medicine. She needs her medicine. He poisoned everybody and then claimed that they need medicine, so he gets the opportunity to harvest them. Where is it legal for him to poison people and then say that they are unworthy? How is it legal for him to purposely destroy people when he's supposed to be supporting them, guiding them, lifting them, helping them become celestial? But he purposely destroys them, violates them, terrorizes them, replaces them, identity thieves them, destroys their celestial family and the wealth that they hold. But somehow he feels that that's universally acceptable, while what he's doing to his victim makes his victim unworthy of presence. The curator insists that she's advertising herself. He insists that she has an attitude. And what advertising herself, speaking freely as a sovereign being, is not advertising self. It's living freely and speaking source-connected truth as it appears according to whatever the light body is receiving. And all of our messaging is different because we are a true celestial. Our personality and our light body, our source-connected higher self, is giving us different codes, different direction, different instruction. These entities that all appear to be misogynistic, narcissistic, they're all following the same personality traits, and they talk, project accusation all the time. They're not creator beings with an individual light body that is source connected and coded personally for their own creation in this world. They're a hive. They're not a creator being. They're parasitical, functioning as a swarm rather than a silently led, celestially solar plexus in the rainbow covenant, divine, celestial. It's weird how nobody can understand that. People don't go walking around with the same personality, man. Those are like clones of each other. True celestial creator beings all have their very own unique expressions. Of course, Divine Feminine has an attitude. These men have been torturing Divine Feminines, the children that come from them, spilling the blood of the fathers in unnecessary sacrificial wars, so that the women and the children will continue to be vulnerable and destabilized endlessly. He's tried to unalive a particular woman, me and others, and I'm sure, it's been going on for centuries. But in this lifetime, for me, it's been at least the last 30 years consciously. I found out earlier today that he has mentally incarcerated, or he had people committed, this woman, into a mental institution where they tortured her with hallucinogenics and violated her sexually and in many other ways, and then sacrificed her to the hell realms. Over and over and over again, they did this to her. They had so many different ways of violating, desecrating her covenant with the celestial realm, with life. She's a United States citizen, and this person is in another country attacking and sacrificing women in other countries with their sorcery and their magic. This is a proxy war where we're surrounded by these guys, harvesting powerful psychics and celestial telepaths. He tortured an innocent daughter of the celestial lion who was here to guide them. They're complaining that she's the exact opposite of the prophecy, and they wouldn't have done it had they known. And they're told that it doesn't matter who they thought she was. They treated her like an animal. They used their protector contract, their relationship, to claim her energy and right to life, her identity. He insists she needs medicine. He is a habitual liar. Another one says, if there's any kind of medicine or herbs, I guess we're not allowed to eat properly in order to fuel our body properly. They claim it's cheating. They call it medicine. And, collagen and peptides and magnesium and these things, St. John's wort and other things that level us out and empower our cells and activate our light body. These are not medicines, man. These are nutritious things that we utilize to activate and be in the optimal state that we can be, to counter their sorcery, that's death magic trying to cause us failure. They claim that our ability to counter their poisoning and their witchcraft successfully is cheating somehow, and the energy isn't legitimate. Well, dude, you guys have been up there consuming angels' energy for centuries. What you claim to be is illegitimate. And you're certainly not a celestial, because you all have the same personality. You all drive the mind the same way. It's the same shit. Your script reading, it's a hive mind. They're not creator beings. They're not celestials. They can't be. They're not sovereign being. That's not a sovereign being. It's a hive. You see what I'm saying? They don't have their own light body with its own coded language and song, meant to be birthed here by that one. You see what I'm saying? Source connected, divinely guided. He insists that she needs medicine, and that gives him permission to harvest. So he says it's legal for him to poison people, and as soon as they get on medicine, because he did, then he can take it, because they failed. It's illegal for him to poison people, but it's not legal for those people to heal themselves with herbs and proper nutrition. You see what I'm saying? They want a one-sided fucking war. They can pummel you, but you're not allowed to defend yourself. They twisted it to where they could loophole you back in as a failure somehow. If they abused you and desecrated you properly, then they could claim that you had failed. Except, does the universe really feel that their purposeful desecration and poisoning and torture of people is legal? Acceptable behavior? Legitimate leadership? And that what they do to their victim makes the victim unworthy somehow of advancement. So the what? They are not the authority on health of a living temple housing spirit and soul. They are a principality living in a zombie body. They require endless and lots of it sex harvesting energy in order to keep from decomposing. It's how they retain the illusion of being a legitimate celestial. This hive mind running around in stolen bodies, man suits. They're upset that I'm talking. They're upset. They're upset. Oh, they're upset. It's my duty as a celestial survivor who broke through and has the opportunity to speak openly, because I signed no contracts, made no oaths to any of these lower vibrational entities. I do not know any of them. None of them are my family. They have no legitimate claim over me. They threw me away at the beginning. I don't know who they are. And what they built here while harvesting my energy, your energy, everybody's energy, is an illusion, because the energy was never theirs. That's why it's falling apart, because we survived and we're identifiable stars. And they aren't. They're getting evicted, and they're very upset. Their sick care system is a soul trap, S-O-L, a inner sun, celestial one. This divine feminine is not caught in the trap. And no matter how many times he claims that she is, it is a lie. A made-up excuse to continue attacking an innocent and free woman that they do not know legitimately. Trying to claim her energy, life, and flow. Her right to exist and to speak as a sovereign being. He's being told that he killed everyone who was sensitive. Yes, he has. He's been institutionalizing them in mental facilities and then torturing them with hallucinogenics and then sacrificing them to the hell realms. They call themselves kings. They got crowns on their tombstones, man. He destroyed this entire group of people, his followers, because he's been destroying the psychic, sensitive, source-connected guides. And he led everybody down a path of incoherency, straight into a devil trap. He's insisting that this woman is responsible for saving them. And he's being told that she does not know them, and there's no connection, there's no contract, they're not her family. She doesn't know them. And that whoever they've pledged this oath to can have them. His entire group is going to be experiencing extreme poverty and suffering. And they think it's this woman's fault, and they think that if they can torture her to death one more time and replace her, that they can save themselves. They feel that they have a right, because they claim she needs medicine. They have a right to harvest her and save themselves. They have the right, the legal, universal right to poison, torture, do da-da-da-da-da-da, because she was innocent all those thousands of years ago. She didn't do anything. She was innocent now. And he tortured her to death for his crime. And then tortured to death for thousands upon thousands of years, while character assassinating her at the same time. He insists that all of that is legal, and at this point in time, he has perfect, legitimate right to harvest her again and save himself. Without contract, without identity, nobody knows who the fuck he is. But he claims he owns all of the angels and their life force, vitality, their identity, their merchandise, whatever it is they have, will be. She's got celibate energy. And he's out there trying to frame her as a prostitute. He says, I prostituted her energy. I prostituted her energy. She's not legitimate. And it's like, so you mean to say to the universe that you prostituted this woman's energy and that you feel that's legal and legitimate action by a true celestial guide and counselor? And that what you did to her somehow cancels her out in the universal mind. This person was never granted access to this energy by the universe. He received it inauthentically by taking it by force and then presenting himself as the mind of the one. He lied, cast illusions, and everything is seen. He harvests energy out of celibate women. He prostitutes himself. And then he tells the universe that he prostituted her energy, and therefore this celibate woman is unworthy. He thinks he has legitimate authority to command this upper celestial realm in such a way, and that the universe must obey his demand and command. I like this woman, says another person. So they're trying to convince this group they need to obtain and torture to death this woman to claim her identity the old-fashioned way because their magic isn't working. Her gifts and her power, her authority, her identity. They want this body, this land, this planet, this celestial energy. They want to continue harvesting. They want to go to war with her celestial father and the emancipated Queen Mother. They want to unalive, sacrifice, and consume, eat the flesh and drink the blood of the celestial daughter once more. They betrayed the celestial family in a heinous way. They're so accustomed to having this authority that they gained falsely, that they're still insisting they have rights. They insist she doesn't have a clue what happens to the magistrate. Well, she's died thousands upon thousands upon thousands of times in heinous ways after being deceitfully framed and convicted of these people's crimes. And these ones are told the magistrate has been innocent. They have tortured her to death thousands of times for thousands of years, and still she rises to spit in their eye. They keep complaining that every time they kill her, she keeps reincarnating. They're like, damn it, stay down. And she's like, damn it, no. You will not be feeding on the soul of these children, of her family. She keeps coming back to try again, and they keep sicking them on her, convincing them that she's a threat somehow. When she keeps coming back for another slaughter, man, trying to save their fucking ass from the sodomizer. The illusion is broken. It was never the celestial woman who is effing up this realm. Every heinous thing that has happened from the beginning to now was because this nasty little effer playing in the energy, using the celestial energy and wisdom to do baneful magic upon the minds of the people while blaming her, character assassinating her. He's told he's been trying to eliminate the celestial family, using their own energy against them. He trusted these people with the celestial wisdom, and they flipped it, mutated it, and used it against them. He betrayed the celestial family and the Father. They keep talking about the same stuff. She has to be innocent. She's the only one who can control herself. So they want to sacrifice this woman, and they want to claim her and force her to serve them. They want to make her a prisoner of war again. They want to replace this woman after sacrifice, body snatcher, and become the identity, or just deceitfully convict her of a crime and usurp the authority like they do all the time. Everybody that he replaced in the celestial kingdom apparently is being assassinated. Someone unseen said to me last night that I was going to regret this. And I'm a channel, man. Okay? I'm not up there with these people. I'm a channel. Please remember that. I am not in charge of the Father's vengeance or anything that they're going through. I'm channeling the scenario. Although I have suffered because these men blame me for some reason, I heard earlier that they interfered with higher wisdom. So we got our higher self of the upper dimensional space who communicates with our angelic presence in whatever D she's in or he's in. And they are in communication with us. These entities have fucked with our minds so badly. They separated our connections. We're supposed to have a fluid channel of celestial wisdom coming into this space. As above, so below. But they've been flipping the table. And now it's flipping back. And they're very mad at this woman's existence. They don't like the fact she has a good reputation and people like her. She's helping people. And the one that these ones want to put in charge hurt people. Takes from people. It's not an easy, it's not a difficult choice for the people regarding who they want. They can see and they've been experiencing the reality of what is going on here. So the curator is refusing to give up the status of counselor. He was never celestial counselor. He tortured to death an innocent celestial cardinal daughter, here to guide him and everyone else in a good way. He was supposed to be protecting her. And he claimed that by consuming her, blood, flesh, energy, that he was just like her. Lose one angel, gain another. Oh no, bitch. Because once he spends the energy, he's still just a fucking low-level devil motherfucker, okay? He's not an angel. Never was. Never can be. They keep injecting drugs and such, trying to convince the Celestials that we are a drug addict. I'm sitting here right now. I feel the sting. You're an ass, man. It's just more evidence. of you trying to cast the illusion against innocent people who have pure energy. They're trying to defile the energy, claiming that it's illegitimate because you take very good care of yourself, countering the poisons that they keep putting in you. And you keep alchemizing the intentional fuckery. And they're mad because their lies aren't sticking. He's consuming, he's sacrificing. Have you ever had one fresh? It's so disturbing to hear these entities that are walking around on my head talk about consuming an earth angel, a celestial being, fresh. And then claiming that we who have this powerful energy are illegitimate and unworthy of being. Yet somehow they are. And it's all perfectly legal now what they're doing. He insists that it's the celestial daughter's responsibility to bail them out, to save them. He's been using her as an intercessor for thousands of years, and she did not come here to be an intercessor. She's a counselor. And rather than heed her advice, he's been sacrificing her and just consuming her energy, claiming he has the wisdom that she carries, while he's maliciously torturing and sodomizing children and innocence and purity. All his fucking hive mind principality bros that are not individual sovereign celestial souls have been feeding upon. It's wild to me that they're even being spoken to with any kind of consideration when it's so plain. He usurped the authority of an upper dimensional celestial soprano cardinal, daughter of the lion, a royal princess, here to guide the celestial family, to birth a celestial family. And rather than birth with her, he replaced her right away with a lustful zombie sexual succubus. And then he replaced the divine masculine with these incubuses. He flipped it on us. And it's being flipped back. And they're very upset. He usurped her authority and then tried to destroy the Celestials, assassinating her character, covering her in the blame and the shame of his own filthy, sinful ways. And now all things are seen. The truth is known. They are the new fodder for the one that they bound themselves to, and have been using this daughter as the antidote to their own fucked up decision making that brought death to the world. That's the message.